It often starts innocently, a prescription for pain after an injury or surgery. The medication is legal, trusted, and meant to help. Yet for many, this is the beginning of an unintended journey. This path can lead from a medicine cabinet to a dangerous place connecting prescription opioids and heroin. This isn't about bad choices, it's about how our bodies and healthcare systems can create a trap. How does someone seeking pain relief end up using an illegal street drug? The answer is complex. It involves brain chemistry, desperation, and systemic failures. For too long, we've treated prescription opioid misuse and heroin addiction as separate problems. But they're two chapters of the same story, one that's touched millions of families. By understanding the link, we see the people behind the statistics, real humans caught in a cycle of pain and survival. We'll explore what opioids do to the brain, how dependence forms, and the difficult path when prescriptions run out. This is a journey from managed pain to unmanaged addiction, a transition driven by physical need. Understanding this isn't about blame, it's about empathy and finding better solutions. We must replace judgment with compassion and see addiction as a complex health condition. By understanding how a prescription can lead to heroin use, we can break stigma and open doors to prevention and recovery. This is a story that needs to be told with clarity and hope for a better way forward. Prescription opioids are powerful painkillers, derived from or similar to opium. Names like oxycodone, hydrocodone, morphine, and fentanyl are common. These drugs block pain signals in the brain and trigger a rush of dopamine, creating euphoria. For those in severe pain, this can feel miraculous, relief from agony and emotional distress. But this same effect makes opioids risky. The brain quickly learns to crave the reward, even when used as prescribed. Side effects range from drowsiness to slowed breathing, and overdose can be fatal. Tolerance builds. Over time, higher doses are needed for the same relief. This natural process is a key step toward dependence. Opioids are essential for some conditions, but widespread use for chronic pain has caused immense problems. The very system that makes them effective also makes them addictive. Understanding this duality is crucial to grasping the crisis. They're not good or bad, just powerful substances with profound effects. Dependence on opioids can begin quietly without intent. Regular use causes the brain to adapt, reducing its own pain-relieving chemicals. Tolerance develops. The original dose stops working, so higher doses are needed. This isn't weakness, it's biology. As tolerance builds, physical dependence sets in. The body needs the drug to function. Stopping suddenly triggers withdrawal, severe pain, vomiting, chills, and more. This isn't just craving, it's a physical revolt. Misuse often starts here. Taking extra pills to manage pain or avoid withdrawal. The line between use and misuse blurs when someone just wants to feel normal. Addiction is the next step, compulsive drug seeking despite harm. The brain's reward system is rewired. The drug becomes the top priority. Control slips away and life unravels. This tragic journey often starts with a simple need for pain relief. As opioid prescriptions became harder to get, desperation grew. Doctors tightened rules and pills became scarce and expensive on the street. For those dependent or addicted, this created a crisis. Their bodies demanded the drug, but the supply vanished. Enter heroin, another opioid, chemically similar to prescription painkillers. Heroin is cheaper and easier to find than black market pills. For someone in withdrawal, the math is simple and compelling. Nearly 80% of heroin users in the US started with prescription opioids. The pills created dependence. Heroin became the replacement. The switch isn't about seeking a new high, it's about survival. But heroin brings new dangers. It's unregulated, purity is unknown, and it's often laced with fentanyl. Fentanyl is up to 100 times more potent than morphine. A tiny amount can be fatal. The risk of overdose skyrockets. What began as a search for relief becomes a deadly gamble. The journey from prescription to heroin is driven by need, not choice. It's a tragic consequence of a system unprepared for the fallout. Meet David, a builder injured on the job. Prescribed oxycodone, he found relief. Until his doctor stopped the prescription. The pain and withdrawal returned. A colleague offered heroin. David wasn't seeking a high, he just wanted to function. Or Sarah, a student recovering from a car accident. Morphine helped her heal, but when the prescription ended, anxiety and cravings took over. A friend offered what she thought was a painkiller. It was heroin. These stories aren't rare. They're the new face of heroin addiction. It's the athlete hooked after a sports injury, the grandmother treated for arthritis, the veteran coping with trauma. Addiction doesn't discriminate, it finds people at their most vulnerable. The journey is incremental, a series of small, logical steps to solve immediate pain or withdrawal. The person isn't thinking about the future, just surviving the next few hours. Addiction narrows focus to a single point, getting the drug. By understanding these stories, we move past stereotypes. We see the person, not just the addiction. Recognizing our shared humanity is the first step to real change. These are not cautionary tales. They are calls for empathy. The crisis is closer than we think. Next door, in our families, in ourselves. Each story is a reminder that anyone can be caught in this cycle. The solution starts with seeing the person behind the struggle. Only then can we hope to help. Breaking the cycle starts with prevention, careful prescribing, exploring non-opioid pain management, and honest conversations about risks. When opioids are needed, use the lowest dose for the shortest time. Educate patients on safe storage and disposal of leftover pills. For those already dependent, accessible treatment is key. Stigma keeps people from seeking help. We must treat addiction as a medical condition, not a moral failing. Medication-assisted treatment with methadone or buprenorphine stabilizes the brain and relieves cravings. These medications don't create a high, they offer a path to recovery. Counseling and support groups help address underlying issues and prevent relapse. Peer support breaks isolation and builds hope. Recovery isn't linear, but it's possible. Brains heal, lives rebuild. Compassion and evidence-based care make the difference. By treating people with dignity, we encourage them to seek help. The journey from prescription to heroin is tragic, but not a life sentence. With understanding and support, people can find their way back. Hope is real. Recovery happens every day. The path from prescription pain relief to heroin is paved with good intentions and unintended consequences. It's a story of biology and desperation, not moral failure. Those caught in this cycle are our neighbors, friends, and family. Recognizing this truth is the foundation of real change. We've seen how dependence develops quietly, and how heroin becomes a desperate solution. Prescription misuse and heroin addiction are not separate crises, they're points on the same continuum. The solution must be rooted in public health and compassion, not punishment. Smarter prescribing, education, and accessible treatment are essential. Medication-assisted treatment is a lifeline, not a crutch. Empathy is our most powerful tool. When we listen and understand, we break stigma. The opioid-heroin connection reminds us of our shared vulnerability. By acknowledging this, we can build a system that heals, not punishes. Together we can offer hope and support to those lost in the dark.